Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Ma, Namaste. Finally making this video. It's been a long time coming. I've resisted putting myself out there, despite my encouraging other people to do the same, and now I finally am forcing myself to do so into the uncomfort zone. I don't like marketing myself. I really prefer to just stay in the background, and if somebody comes to me spontaneously, then I'm happy to share. But I've realized that not sharing your gifts, not putting yourself out there, having an aversion, just like a desire, doesn't serve you. And it actually doesn't serve the universe, and it doesn't serve this planet and the people on it. So you need to put yourself out there. So that's the point of this video. I want to share myself and my gifts to whatever degree I can with the local community and the international community. So my goal is $10,000 in 10 days so that I can do the tour with my guru like I do, which is every stop, and I can take care of what bills need to get taken care of, and I can have some money when I come back for once. So $10,000 in 10 days. It's actually less than 10 days now before I leave for the tour. Not really that important. Anyway, I will go on this tour with Amma regardless of what money comes in. I always just put myself in her hands. So I will, if I need to get in this Toyota Corolla with one tank of gas and go up and wing it from there, I will. And it will work out somehow. It usually involves a certain amount of suffering and tapasya, physical, hardship, but fine. I'm in. So, but you know what? I've realized it doesn't have to come to that. And I know that who I am and what I have to share is valuable. And I'm not going to put any price on what that value is. I have prices of how I usually work with various modalities, and I will share them along the course of this video. But I want you, if there's some way that I can help you with something I say, something resonates, some skill that I have, some gift that I've developed over the years, if I can somehow help you to lead a happier life, a more fulfilled life, I can help you get to the next step, level up, however you want to call in your life, through any of my gifts or all of them or many of them, etc., then I want to help you. And I want you to put the value on it. I fully believe that what you give, you get back. So if someone would try to lowball some service for me, which is totally okay with me, they will get that result back for themselves, because that's the energy of how the universe works. So I always believe in giving as much as possible, and by giving, you always get back tenfold. So that's what I'm doing. So please value it however it works. And I know everyone's have different budgets. We can talk about creative way. If you value something but don't have all the money in place, we can do any kind of payment plan you want, anything you want, okay? I'm just putting it out there. So I'm going to go through some various things that I've done professionally in this world and or in this life. And if one of them resonates with you or more than one, then please contact me and let's set something up so we can work together. Okay. Now, I've spent the better part of the last, I would say, 30, 35 years, actually, almost 40 years now, in deeper meditational practices, starting, when I started martial arts at 10. So, the whole core of what I've been trying to accomplish in my life, pretty much like everybody that at least is leading a conscious path, is we're all trying to be happy. So I'm trying to figure out how I can be happy. And whenever I figure out little key things to that puzzle, I believe in sharing that with other people. So that's what I do. That started actually with the physical body and how it moves and how to make it stronger. It went on to health. And as my meditation developed and my intuition developed, which was always strong, my empathic sense was always strong, it just led to sharing that with others and counseling them. Even when I trained with people, I would wind up counseling them about the problems in their life. And somehow people open up to me about their troubles in life. I would actually say it's probably all due to the grace of my guru. Mata Amritanandamayi, if you don't know that, and she is the hugging saint and really a pure incarnation of the Divine Mother, who is, I've been with now, I think this will be the 27th or 28th tour that I go on with her around the United States. So if you haven't seen Amma, please come see Amma. But if there's any good in me, it's from my guru. And if there's anything non-desirable, that part is still what's left from me. So somehow, maybe because of that, people open up. I don't know, for me. So what I found around Amma all these years, and then when Facebook became a thing and social media really kind of exploded, that people would write me about their troubles and about their various types of suffering. It would be life suffering, it would be not feeling successful suffering, it would be relationship suffering, it would be bodily suffering, it would be, mind suffering, not being okay with who they are, not being okay with their body, not being okay with, how they feel about themselves. Basically, all of those things, when I thought about them deeply, come down to the very same thing. Not being okay with reality exactly as it is right here and right now. So usually most people are caught up in things that happened in the past in their life, and they just can't let that shit go, or they're speculating about the future, which they have no one knows what the future is going to hold. So they get caught up in all kinds of mind streams about the future instead of being right here in the present. So the first thing you have to do is get right here in the present. And from the present, you can chart a course to anywhere that you'd like to go. And you can't chart a course to anywhere you'd like to go from any other place but right here, right now. So from watching all this suffering and knowing that truth, this kind of way of guiding people through that process kind of came to me that I termed the Satchidananda method. Sat means truth in Sanskrit. Chit means consciousness, or thoughts, actually, the mind stuff. We'll just call it consciousness. And Ananda means bliss. So the first thing you have to do is get the Sat, the truth. What is the truth behind your suffering? And it's basically what I just elaborated. Not being able to be okay with how things are right here, right now. Once you can get to the core truth of that particular thing for what you're going through, beyond some kind of mental understanding and a real deep heart knowing, then you have become conscious of what's going on with you, your blockage, your suffering, however you want to term it. When you become conscious of it, you can then make a conscious change to that patterning that brings that result for you all the time. Okay? You can break that conditioning, and you can substitute a different patterning, a different software to replace that old outdated software that doesn't work for you, actually never worked for you, but it doesn't work for you. So when you can make that conscious change, then you will arrive at bliss. And when you're blissed out, you're happy, man. So that is the crux of what I do, even inside pretty much every other piece of work. So actually sometimes there's ways of you getting that counseling, I guess, cheaper for me if you go through other methods in life. I don't know. It seems to be a little different when I counsel people directly under that method. It seems to bring about a much deeper type of change in the consciousness that way. Now I'm going to go through a bunch of different things that I offer, and I'm going to put out there values of things that I have asked from people, or charged or whatever, however it came up in that particular scenario. But you don't need to use that as a base unless you want to. You can value my services and myself exactly as you feel things should be valued, okay? I fully trust in you and the universe that I will receive more than I need, okay? I can't remember if in this take of this video, if I said what my goal was, that I really wanted to come up with $10,000 before I left. I think I have, I don't know, at this point, I have at least in hand, in the last 2 days, I made at least 10%, a little more than 10% of what I wanted to come up with. So before I leave on either May 24th or May 25th, I want that amount in. And actually, if that amount isn't in, I'm still going to go on this tour, whether I have to get in that car with just one tank of gas and wing it and put myself completely in Amma's hands like I always do. But I really don't want to do that because I don't want to be a burden to Amma. Okay, and I feel that actually I know I have value, and I know that these services have value, and they can help people. So my first and foremost thing is to help you, and I know the rest of it will come. And I'm sure that actually that axiom works for everybody in life. So Satchidananda counseling I've done under the sacred geometry number of $335 an hour. I don't actually watch the clock exactly. That's just how the session winds up going down. Some people have needed less time. Some people can't actually take so much in one session. It's all different. But I'm happy to counsel you at whatever rate you want to be counseled at, and I'm not even going to put any number on that. If you have a certain budgetary concern that's preventing you from doing so, we can work it out. Meaning that you can value it as you want, and how much time we spend on it, it will work out, or maybe there's a payment plan that will come up, some creative solution. You value things how you want. So I've explained the Satchidananda counseling. And I do that for relationships, I do that for work stuff, I do that for life stuff, I do that for waking up stuff, I do that for talking about a little, like I said, not perfect conditions for videoing, but that's fine. Yeah, pretty much those are the crux of what I do for the Satchidananda counseling. So if that interests you, please contact me. If anything else in this video interests you, please contact me. Not going to be the most perfectly worded video. If you need guidance about meditational practices or spiritual sadhanas, if you have a particular effect you want, which is not how I do my practice normally, but I understand a lot about a lot of different things from what I've done. The way my brain works is I'm able to actually absorb a lot of information very quickly about things that resonate with me and that I'm passionate with. And then I'm able to translate that knowledge to somebody else so they can find it useful for themselves and their own intensity level with stuff. And I try not to overwhelm people. Another way that somehow works for people, for me to give a type of counseling guidance, is to do an oracle reading with the Rama Oracle, which is something I've really kind of taken on lately as one more tool to diving into a problem to start a conversation. And then it still leads to the Satchidananda method counseling. But some people like that, and maybe you just want to address one concern and you want to open yourself up to the oracle and see what the universe wants to tell. That oracle, I wrote a whole thing on it. It's designed by the same Saint Tulsidas who composed the common version of the Ramayana, as well as authored the Hanuman Chalisa. So he did this because his friend was in trouble. He, something to do with a hunting accident with the king's son and his son, and he wanted to know if he was okay, and if he was wrong, he was going to be put to death. And so Tulsidas designed the Sri Ram Oracle to help him out, and it works beautifully. I cannot believe how well it lets me tap into reality about a situation for myself and for other people. I'm kind of astounded. I'm actually naturally skeptical of such things, and I'm blown away by the Sri Ram Oracle. Okay. Another type of coaching that I wind up doing with people on these lines is if you're a man, helping you to be a much more conscious man and to relate to women much more consciously and honorably and with respect. So that falls into the realm of dating, as well as relationship counseling and intimacy counseling, and just how to be a better man. Because you know what? We need better men on this planet, and we need servants of the goddess. I wear this red dot. I actually am not without the red dot anymore. The red dot is what we call a tilak of the Shakta tradition, which is a tradition from the goddess, and I am a servant and protector of the goddess. So I won't be without this again. You can call it a feminist movement that I'm kind of putting out there. So that covers that. Another thing that I do that I've really thought about sharing on a much larger scale is a full-on empowering puja, a real traditional puja, to empower women even more as the goddess that they are, to bring out certain facets of the goddess within them and bring that out. So I think many people just, they haven't actually been unconditionally honored in their life. And I think that that's the crux of why the puja, the Devi puja, is so powerful. And this puja is a kind of offshoot of a Durga puja that we do for small girls, called Kumari puja. And once I'd done that several times, and I've done quite a bit of puja and studied puja, in depthly, and specifically Devi puja, for quite a while now, decades already, as well as doing my own practices in those traditions. And from that, I am able to alter pujas, because I understand the core of what works in the puja and why it works, so I can throw in different groups of mantras and different types of worship to help someone bring out certain aspects that they want to bring out. And the truth is, you cannot actually worship wrong. You can just worship more intelligently and more traditionally. So if that is of interest to you, if you would like to receive, one-on-one, a very empowering Shaktifying puja, to invoke and awaken your inner goddess to a much greater degree than you have already, then that's something else that I can do. May not be so easy for me to do it on tour, but I can definitely do it afterwards. And I will be reestablishing a goddess temple again when I get back. That's another goal of mine with this whole thing. Okay, along those things, I make malas for people. It happens sometimes. I don't have anything crazy on, but I make power malas with various rudrakshas and crystals and different things. I still have things that I, had just malas that are already made that were empowered in India, and definite little pieces that can go on the end of a mala that were empowered that just bring about, deeper connection with, meditative practice, or more for protection, depending on what your need is. That's very easy for me to put together, and people seem to be quite happy with that. Those malas always started about at $108, and they went up. Some things that were really, elaborate and involved, certain much more high-priced pieces. I've, made malas for people that were thousands of dollars. So that's something else that I can offer. As long as we're talking about yoga, a practice that I do for myself is a type of Nada yoga called I tone. Okay, using the human body is basically, if you think about it, made up of living crystal. So not only by listening to sound, but by actually vibrating sound itself, you can cleanse your entire emotional and etheric body. You can cleanse your chakras one by one. Different notes have different frequency rates, and those rates those rates correspond to different places in the body, especially in the energetic body. So I find by using the harmonium, that was Amma's harmonium, and by chanting even just Om or Ah, and some also some Bij mantras like Harim and things, that you can really, really open up and get into a totally blissed out state. So look for me to offer classes on that when I get back. If it's something you want to experience one-on-one or in a group, we can do that on tour or anywhere, anytime. I'm always down for doing that version of Nada yoga. And the interesting thing is, it's an extremely advanced spiritual yogic practice that anybody can do right away and experience the benefits from the first time they do it. So it's like one of the most advanced practices, and you can do it right away. That's another reason why I love that. Also, I've been training people since I was 16 as far as physical training. I've been doing asana since before that. I used to actually teach asana. A lot of you don't know that. I didn't want to think of myself as a yoga teacher and get paid for it way back then. I even told Amma that. I wasn't okay with that word yoga getting mixed with money, my own past karmic blocks, and because I don't really agree with the take of how most modern postural yoga is in this country. But I understand the body and how it moves very in-depthly. So if you're into asana, and if you need help getting into perfecting the asanas that are important to you, I know how to adjust you and show you adjustments so that you can get much, much deeper into those asanas, regardless of what it is. It kind of is an offshoot of, I spent one whole year of my life, I took off from training and working, whatever, and I just studied the body, how the body moves, where emotion starts in the muscle, how it moves along that range of motion, with those muscles, and just how to perfect that kind of movement. So that's something that I've taught with clients forever. So that can relate to asana. As far as training, and that again, I do that at the same rate I do training at, which is, my training rates range from when people pay, for 12 weeks in advance, it's usually $125 an hour. When they're paying by the month, it's $150 an hour. When they're paying by the session, it's $200 an hour. That being said, please, my price is open. I've trained people for less sometimes. Usually when I offer something for someone for less, it actually never works out with that person. But I'm happy to just share things. Maybe we can do them in a group, and that's a much cheaper way of reaching the levels of finance that I value these things at. But obviously, I do extremely efficient and effective personal training of various types. I don't overwhelm people. It doesn't have to be the type of intensity that I train at, but I bring people up slowly over a course of time. I make sessions really fun. I love to work out outside on the beach, doing functional fitness HIIT sessions. I love to be in the gym as well. I love to be in private gyms. I love to do group classes with like 3, 4, 5, 6 people. So that's something else that I can do. Also, I've been plant-based since I was 17. Actually, I'm sorry, since 18 I made the full transition. I started my transition at 17 because I realized that that's a key part to be happy, is to be healthy. And vegetarian and certainly even vegan diet, which is where I'm at now, once again, for a period of time already now, is I can show you how to approach it in a very balanced manner, and especially how to stay strong and healthy during the process. Protein's a non-issue. Paleo thing is whack, not necessary. No matter how your body responds, I can find a way for you to be completely plant-based or mostly plant-based, and I understand raw, I understand gluten-free, I understand all of these modalities. So that's something that I can set up for you, a nutritional dietary program to help take you to the next step, or to become a full vegan, or to become a strict vegetarian. I would love to do that for you. Or I do nutritional plans for people that actually aren't of that make. So if you have a particular thing that you want and you want it set up in a way that fits in the modality that you find works for you, I can certainly help do that for you. And that can also involve meal plans, and that can also be an ongoing thing where we check in. Usually when I design a program for somebody that's not training with me, it's $600. If someone's training with me, I charge them either $399 or $299 at the initial, depending on the rate of what they're paying me up front. Value it as you want. It's okay. I want to help you. So if I can help you with learn to live a better diet, if I can help you go on a 7, 14, 21, 30-day cleanse, if I can help design a cutting-edge nutritional supplement program for you, which is extremely important, involving enzymes and the best nutrient-dense superfoods, especially the best bang for your buck, and the best sources of protein, especially vegan protein, and microalgae and immature grasses and all these other juice concentrates and things that I'm into, that I've studied for 30 plus years, then please contact me. I also do body work with people. Okay, I wouldn't really call it massage. I do a range of body work, from really light touch to increased circulation flow. And again, people tend to talk to me about their problems during the process of these things. And there's generally an emotional factor to why you're in a certain pain, or there's a certain thing in your life that you're unwilling to face, and that's why you're experiencing this pain. So I can do a light circulatory flow with oils, etc., around the body. I love essential oils. I'm big on them. Or I even prefer to do like really deeper tissue work with people. Now I'm actually doing some rehab mobility work to open up. That's it's kind of a little more painful, but it is so effective to opening up a deep area of pain. And I also, years back, and I've developed it over the last chunk of years, I developed my own kind of energy work that I call a prana flow realignment. So I've done these sessions a few different ways, and people seem to be really happy with the results. I love it. It's a really awesome interaction. Sometimes I use crystals, sometimes I even use solidified mercury, and really help to open up whatever blockages you have in the body. I take you through some really deep breathing, some visualizations with colors and swirling colors and cocoons of eggs around you, and it's pretty cool stuff. Same thing, that, $125 an hour, plus, is what I use. Some people are happy, actually want to pay me a lot more. So value it as you want. You can value it more. I'm really happy if you value my services more than what I might normally put out there. I just, I try to make whatever I do, inviting for people. I've also done quite a bit of shamanic journeying, both with or without entheogens. And I've really sat and helped people go on really deep shamanic experiences that I'm not going to talk in depth about that on this video. If that's something of interest of you, even actually people that are shamanic teachers have come to me to sit because I'm really still. And actually, I didn't even start exploring any of that area until I was already deeply rooted in meditation. And that made it much more easy for me to traverse those realms and anchor them into my consciousness. So that's available. Those things have run from $500 to $1,008 plus, depending on the length of time and retreat stuff. Which means, one of the things I'm really, really happy and would be encouraged to tailor an individual retreat for you, whether that be a day, a weekend, a week, or longer, doing just to help you take on a, kind of recalibrate and reboot and take on a whole new way of addressing life. So we can do a cleanse on that day. We can, not actually even like on that week, we can do a cleanse. We can do a nutritionally deep program for you. It can involve exercise. It can involve beach walks. It can involve breathing exercises. It can involve some exercise itself to really get you breathing, because when you get oxygenated, your brain functions much better and you get much more positive about life. And we can counsel along the way, and we can kind of look at things that are blocking you in your life and see how we might be able to alleviate those blocks. I also do some social media management for people, and I do content development and persona development. I'm very active on social media, as some of you have seen. I'm probably even more active than you realize, and I, understand how to do certain things on social media. And what you also might not know is that, I actually went to film school at NYU, at the Tisch School of the Arts, which is by some people's the best film school in the world. It's certainly one of the absolute best film schools in the world, and many famous directors have gone there. I used to be in a class with M. Night Shyamalan, whose parents are also devotees of Amma, by the way, and come in the Boston area all the time. So I can give you guidance on even just how to make videos like this and how to get it out there and how to establish a YouTube channel. I put up a YouTube channel starting from a video project that I crowdfunded it to raise money during the 2010 Kumbh Mela, and that channel now has almost 1,100 subscribers and almost 1 million views. And I really did nothing to market it. I put up a website and I SEO'd a little bit in the descriptions, and from that channel just exploded. So imagine if we were actually focusing on it, how things can blossom for you. And as well as, looking at keywords in Google Analytics and proper SEO for all of that stuff. As well as one other thing I've done, I did this for HP, and I've done this myself for my events, is webcasting and running a virtual room. So I've done this for HP, yes, you heard that right, Hewlett-Packard, at 2 of their really huge events for their top level stuff in networking and other fields that they were going to launch for the year. I actually specifically work with the networking people. So I have a lot of experience doing that and helping develop content online. So if that resonates with you, if that's something you need as part of your business that you're missing and you're afraid to do it and you need a little help, I can help you with that. I'm really, really, really good at helping other people to make money and to bring themselves out and to gain the confidence that they need to move forward in their lives. I think that pretty much covers the service. What I do for that, retreats, usually my starting fee, for an 8-hour day is $1,008. If some people have done 24-hour retreats for me, obviously, I've charged $3,000 plus for that. You may not realize when I've done some people with training that were using me really intensively, some people have paid me more than $25,000 in advance. So the money comes and the money goes. I'm really not about the money, I'm about the work. So I think I covered just about everything I wanted to cover in this video. It's almost a half an hour and I'm out of time on this camera. So if anything I've said in this video resonates with you, if somehow I can help you, let's have a conversation. Value it as you see fit. I'm not going to help you determine that price. I'll help you determine a creative solution if something's bothering you, and let's work together. And do actually please share this video with your friends or anyone that you think it could be helpful with that might want, to benefit from the work that I do. Last thing. Oh, my camera's running out too. I've run security teams for people too. If you need security somehow for your event, some kind of spiritual event or a wedding or something, if somehow you're a high-profile person and you need security, I have run, security teams both for someone that was running for office of mayor of San Diego, and I've also done the same thing at a spiritual event that I'm not going to mention here. So if somehow that's your need, contact me and we'll go over that. That also started at $1,008. I like those sacred geometry numbers. 1,008, 1,111, 3,333, 333. They're all numbers of the goddess and of the yogis, and those things resonate with me. Anyway, I'm also going to be giving some classes when I get back about the tradition of yoga and making things in the tradition and my experiences with various different yogis, how that can help you lead a happier life and maybe enrich yourself as a yoga teacher. So I'm developing different courses and models that I can then go out and share with the public. So thank you for listening. There'll be more soon. I'm sorry I went on and on. I just tried to get it all out there. I hope it was of some benefit and some interest. You probably turned off long ago, but if you didn't, great. And if anything resonates, please let me know. Jai Ma, namaste. Love you. See you. Peace. Love you. Love's the answer. Love is the way.